What's up, guys? Today I'm going to replace these old crappy headlights, and I'm going to go ahead and do a little sort of, I guess, product review slash upgrade slash tech talk sort of deal. So what it is Spec D replacement headlights, and you'll already notice these are projectors. These aren't standard reflector housings. And I'm going to go ahead and explain the pros and cons of both for you. This is a standard headlight housing. It is a reflector. This bulb turns on. What it does is it reflects around this painted glass layer on the back of the headlight and shines through a etched lens, which projects the light all over the place using the reflection technique. And it just has your standard ground, high beam, low beam prong on the back that older Nissan cars have. And when you burn out your low beam or your high beam, you're stuck with throwing this whole thing away and buying a new one. So here we have a pro. If you crack this headlight or your low beam or high beam burns out, you just go and throw this whole thing away because your light bulb is not removable, and you get a new one. So you get a fancy, nice, clean lens, and you don't have to clean all the bugs and shit off of the old one. And if you end up cracking your lens, your headlight still functions fine. Kudos, because you can go get a new one. Now, they're not really that expensive. I think it's about 15 to 20 bucks for a replacement light, depending on where you go. This is a 7x6 light. Newer cars where you can just carry a spare headlight in your glove box, it's sort of difficult to fit one of these in your glove box. I don't even like keeping a spare one in the car because the size of this. I mean, a box is half the size of a shoe box for these. Another con is these are reflector style housings, and they're not that bright. No, it's technology that's been around for probably 100 plus years now. It's not the best, but it's widely used because it's cheap and it doesn't take a lot of maintenance. And we're going to go ahead and upgrade from this because I don't like the style. One, they look dated. Two, they're not that bright. Three, you can't, as I said, change the bulb, do anything fancy with these. You can bake and open them up and I'm sure drill it and put in a light or whatever you want to do, but once again, it's only 15 to 20 bucks. It's not worth your time. Replacement headlight. These are Spec D's Projector series. I think they call them blackout. This light bulb is projected through a glass lens that is positioned in front of it, which then, hence the name, projects the light out into the environment. Generally, these are brighter. A $3 bulb in this would probably be brighter than a $20 bulb in this. 90% of your light is coming out of this magnified lens, essentially, which is then dispersing it through the environment. It's not really the lens's job at that point. This lens is for protection. So, let's do a little talking about the product. It's a nice construction, two-piece. You could probably bake it and take this lens off if you want. Obviously, I don't care to do that. It already comes preset. Everything's assembled. There's even a bulb in it. It's as simple as slap it in. This is a plug-and-play package, basically. It uses these same prongs as your standard headlight. So once again, minimal wiring. Plug it in, go for it. There's a power and a ground here, as you can see. This is for an accessory light. There's a small blue light in there. If you want to pretend you have HIDs or whatever, you can. I'm assuming that's what that's for because all it does is tint the housing blue when the headlight's on. So essentially you can look like you have HIDs without having HIDs. I don't know why you'd want to do that, but the option is apparently there. A couple of things you're going to need: various screwdrivers, electrical tape, crimp connectors, a solder kit if you want to go that route, a hand drill if you're lazy, and that's about it. So the first thing you want to do is remove this side marker slash parking light, whatever you want to call it, this front light here. You have two screws here, two screws that hold it into the front grille. Now I only have one screw holding it into the side because my plastic clip is gone. And it just so happens to be a 3-inch wood screw, because fuck you, that's why. It works. Anyway, what you do is remove this, and you don't have to unclip it, take the harness out or anything. As you can see, I only have the one light bulb in here, the other one doesn't work. I don't use it anyway. And here's my intercooler piping, which is blocking my motor, my headlights from going down, so my headlights just never go down. Step 2, you have 4 screws, 1, 2, 3, 4, both sides that hold on this cover here. I'm gonna go ahead and remove those. After you remove those 4 screws, you have 3 clips above the top. If you take a really thin flathead screwdriver, you can get up under there and pop those out without breaking them. It appears the previous owner actually already broke one of mine. There's 2, they're probably right in the lines of the headlight. And then you want to go ahead and pop this out. And you have to come up and over these outside tabs, which isn't as easy as it seems. It feels like you're going to break it, but I haven't had one break yet. There it goes. And then go ahead and rock it down and pull it out. There it is, unbroke, surprisingly. Okay, next, to get into the headlight, you have 4 screws. 1, 2, 3, 4. Here's your adjusting screw. The further you pull that out, the more it angles in the headlight towards the center. Here's your bottom adjusting screw. The further you pull this one out, the more it lifts up or lowers the headlights. So, in order to set your new headlights, what you do is park your car against a wall. I think there's a set distance, probably 10 to 15 feet. And then you can adjust your headlights to your liking, raise, lower, bring them in, do whatever. In the event it wants to strip them, you're going to have to do what I had to do with that one, which is drill out all the screws. And the reason for that is these are really rusted and they were already stripped. It looks like whoever put them in used a Phillips head 1 driver instead of a 2. Next step, if you're stuck like me, you want to get 1/8 drill bits and screws that will thread into a 1/8 hole and still hold tight. Or you can drill it out and tap it and do it the right way, but I don't have a tap that small. So take your drill bit, drill the centers of the screws out, which will take the head off, allow us to pull the headlight out, and thread the screws the rest of the way out, hopefully. 1/8 drill bits are really not that bulletproof. Alright, there you go. You can see the head of the screw. Damn, that's really hot. Is on the drill bit, so go ahead and flick that off and draw up the next one. Got it. Alright. Here's your bracket. This is what holds your headlight into its housing. So now the headlight just flops out. That doesn't really flop out, you have to pull it out. Go ahead and take your plug off the back and pitch that headlight. Oh, well, I think those 2 headlights hit together and broke. I'm going to go ahead and hook up the little light in the bottom. I don't know if I may want it later or somebody else wants it or whatever. I have my hot ran already for this process. Basically I just have to run another ground, which can be to a various number of things. Okay, so the rain's holding off for a bit, so I'm going to get back to throwing all this together. And you guys can see the underneath of the hood, the fiberglass isn't done yet, so there's still wood and cloth in there and all that good stuff. It'll get finished one day, I promise. The headlight's sort of free floating right now. Here's the bracket. It goes on either way, up, down, whichever way you want to put it on. Make sure that your headlight says top, or the dot approved is at the bottom usually, or there should be some sort of indicated marking. You don't want to flip it upside down if you still have reflector style housings or whatever. And go ahead and put this bracket on, this little chrome plate. Honestly, I probably should have painted it. You don't really see it, but I'm not crazy about chrome on a car that doesn't have really chrome anywhere else. Thing, put your housing back in. I found the easiest way to do this is to simply slide it in about where it belongs, and then you rock it in. Rather than try and fit it straight on, if you rock it up, it seems like it goes in a lot easier. Pop your top clips in, except mine still broke up here from the previous owner. Make sure the side clips are sitting where they're supposed to be. And get your screws. Obviously you can tell which screws these are. Very wide, big washers, flat pan heads. Because if you use a screw that's not flat like this, it's going to hit the fender and the headlight probably won't go down. And you won't be happy when you scratch your nice paint. Obviously I'm not too worried about scratching my paint. This is all, if you guys haven't noticed, I painted the whole car in truck bed liner. Why might you ask? I plan to drift it and beat on it, and there's no point in spending $1,000 on a paint job when I'm going to take it to the track and throw it into a wall like 70 miles an hour. Listen to the crime. My small one red light town, and sirens play all day. I don't understand it either. I do a little stretch here. There it is. My grill is probably shrunk from the heat. I just have to stretch it to meet both sides of the lights no matter what I do. At least I have it. So I'm not too worried about it. I see lots of cars that just have big empty gaps there, and it's a little disappointing because the factory grill doesn't look bad. And my intercooler hangs out because, of course, the supports for the front bumper are cut away. So the bumper just kind of flops there. But that's it for this install. Thanks for watching, guys, and I wish you luck with your project.